Germany's national team manager has just made a massive statement about Woltemade, and what he's revealed about our record-signing state of mind at Newcastle United will have every Magpies fan buzzing. I'm Rodrigo, and you're watching Newcastle Mania, the channel made by a supporter and for supporters who are absolutely passionate about Newcastle United. You blinked and Newcastle turned into headlines everywhere. We've got some brilliant updates coming your way today, but the main story, that's being saved for last, and trust me, it's absolutely cracking. But first, just a quick word, if you love Newcastle and want to stay on top of everything happening with our club, hit that subscribe button right now. It costs nothing, helps massively, and makes all the difference in growing our black and white community. Right, let's dive in. Now, when Newcastle splashed a club record £69 million on Woltemade back in August, the football world went absolutely mental, didn't it? Bayern Munich figures were moaning, German pundits were questioning the fee, and everyone seemed to have an opinion about whether our lad could handle the pressure of that massive price tag and the physicality of Premier League football. But here's the thing. Whilst everyone else was busy chattering away, Woltemade quietly got on with his business. And now, Germany's manager Julian Nagelsmann has lifted the lid on exactly how our record signing is feeling at St James's Park. And the word he's used is absolutely perfect. Comfortable. Let that sink in for a moment. Comfortable. Not struggling, not overwhelmed, not out of his depth. Comfortable. Speaking ahead of Germany's match against Luxembourg, Nagelsmann didn't just offer throwaway praise, he gave us a proper insight into Woltemade's mindset and his adaptation to life in the Northeast. And honestly, his words should have every Newcastle fan feeling absolutely delighted. His development has been very positive, Nagelsmann said. Moving to another country where a different style of football is played is never entirely easy. He's already scored a few times, feels comfortable in the city, and I think the overall situation feels great for both him and us. Comfortable in the city. Can we just appreciate that for a second? Because we all know how important it is for a player to settle off the pitch before they can truly shine on it. And Newcastle, our city, has clearly worked its magic on the German striker. But Nagelsmann wasn't finished there. He went on. He's an excellent player who quickly went from the Under-21 European Championship final to becoming a regular starter with us. He is currently in high demand because he's performing very well and has already found the net. High demand, performing very well, already finding the net. These aren't empty words from a manager trying to boost his players' confidence. This is genuine praise from one of the most respected tactical minds in world football, acknowledging that Newcastle United have got themselves an absolute gem. And then came the kicker. I hope he continues like this tomorrow and on Monday. I am very pleased with him. Very pleased. From Julian Nagelsmann about our Woltemade. Music to our ears. Now, to truly appreciate this moment, we need to rewind a few months. Remember the absolute circus when we signed Woltemade? Bayern Munich officials were practically apoplectic about the transfer fee. They couldn't believe we'd paid £69 million for a striker who just over a year earlier had joined Stuttgart on a free transfer. The criticism was relentless. Overpriced, unproven, Premier League gamble. We heard it all, didn't we? But Newcastle fans, we saw it differently. We called it exactly what it was, sour grapes from a club that missed out on a rising star. And here's the beautiful thing about football. The pitch doesn't lie. Since arriving at St James's Park, Woltemade has bagged 6 goals across all competitions. 6 goals in what Eddie Howe himself described as a difficult period for the striker, thrust straight into action with virtually no training time with his new teammates. Think about that for a second. A 23-year-old lad moves to a different country, different league, different language, different style of play, and still manages to find the back of the net 6 times in his opening months. In a Newcastle side that, let's be honest, has struggled for consistency this season. That's not just talent, that's character, that's mental strength. That's exactly the kind of player we need at this football club. The repercussion across German football has been telling. The critics have gone remarkably quiet, haven't they? And Nagelsmann's comments now feel like the official stamp of approval that silences any remaining doubters. What's particularly fascinating about Woltemade's adaptation is the relationship he's built with Eddie Howe. And this is where the story gets even better, because it shows you exactly what kind of manager we have. Woltemade himself revealed last month, "He makes me feel good. I have one-on-one conversations with him every day. They're mostly about topics that have nothing to do with football, like my move or how my family's doing. Every single day. Conversations about life, not just tactics. About family, not just formations." That's the Eddie Howe way, isn't it? Building relationships first, building teams second.
The German striker continued. "It is a great working culture here. When you score as a striker on the pitch, the feeling is really good. But also outside of football, I feel really good. The gaffer is such a good gaffer. I've only been here for 4 weeks, but I feel such a good connection." 4 weeks in and he felt that connection. Now, several months later, Nagelsmann is telling us he's comfortable in the city. The pieces of the puzzle are fitting together beautifully. And let's talk about Eddie Howe's response to those Bayern critics, because it was absolutely brilliant. "It's irrelevant, really," Howe said when asked about the transfer fee. "The market forces dictate transfer fees, not necessarily any one club. We're very pleased to have Nick with us. I think he started very strongly in what has been a difficult period for him." Irrelevant. What a perfect word. Because at the end of the day, the price tag isn't on Nick Woltemade's shoulders when he crosses that white line. His job is to score goals, to work for the team, to grow as a player. And by every metric that matters, he's doing exactly that. You know what's remarkable about Woltemade's journey? Just 18 months ago, he was playing lower-level German football. Free transfer to Stuttgart in July 2024. By August 2025, he's Newcastle United's record signing. By November 2025, he's a regular starter for Germany. That's not just rapid development, that's meteoric. That's once-in-a-generation trajectory. Compare that to some of the Premier League's other big-money strikers this season. Players who've struggled to adapt, who've been overwhelmed by the pressure, who've gone missing in crucial moments. Woltemade, he's integrated seamlessly, scored crucial goals, and earned praise from one of football's most demanding managers in Nagelsmann. And here's what should really excite Newcastle fans. He's only 23. 23! His best years are still ahead of him. If this is Nick Woltemade still adapting, still learning the Premier League, still building chemistry with his teammates, imagine what he'll be like in 6 months, in a year, in 2 years, when he's fully settled and firing on all cylinders. The potential is absolutely frightening, isn't it? So, what does all this mean for Newcastle United moving forward? Firstly, it validates our transfer strategy. The critics can moan all they want about the £69 million fee, but we've invested in a young, hungry, talented striker who's already delivering and who fits perfectly into Eddie Howe's philosophy and system. Secondly, it sends a message to the rest of the Premier League. Newcastle United are serious. We're not just spending money, we're spending it wisely. We're identifying players before they become household names, securing them before their value skyrockets even further, and integrating them into a winning culture. Thirdly, and perhaps most importantly, it gives us a foundation to build on. Woltemade isn't just a goal scorer, he's becoming a leader, focal point, a player that others can feed off. As he continues to settle and develop, the entire team will benefit. And let's not forget the psychological impact. When your record signing is thriving, when your manager is nurturing, when your German international striker is telling the world he feels really good at your club, that creates momentum. That attracts other top players. That builds something special. You know what the most beautiful thing about this whole story is? It's proof that Newcastle United is more than just a football club. It's a community. It's a city. It's a feeling. Nick Woltemade didn't just join a Premier League team, he joined a family. And that family, from Eddie Howe's daily conversations to the roar of St. James's Park to the embrace of our incredible city, has wrapped its arms around him and made him feel at home. Julian Nagelsmann said Woltemade is comfortable in Newcastle, but I think it's more than that. I think he's found something special here, something that money can't buy and critics can't understand. He's found what it means to be a Magpie. Right, that's all from me today. If you enjoyed this video and want to stay updated on all things Newcastle United, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Every subscription genuinely helps us grow this black and white community we're building together. Drop a comment below and let me know what you think about Woltemade's start at Newcastle. Are you as excited as I am about his potential? Can he fire us back into the Champions League? Let's have that conversation. I'm Rodrigo, this has been Newcastle Mania, and I'll see you in the next one. How are the lads?